Erev Shabbos, Parshas Chazon, Shayo, who gave so much nechama to Klal Yisrael, and Oyev Yisrael like you can't imagine. It's only someone like that who can give us such a harsh teichacha and haftarah. Chazon is a tough lashon, and he tells us like, where have we gone? How did we get here? Moshe Rabbeinu also used the lashon of Eicha in this week's parsha. Eicha Selav Adi. How am I going to be able to carry Klal? Am Kasher Erev. Rashi goes through what every lashon means. The Maisa, Klal Yisrael misbehaves. And the Torah points out all the times that we misbehave. It doesn't really point out the times when we're doing fantastic, because there's less to learn from that. The whole point is to develop an awareness of where we can go wrong, where we have gone wrong, and how to develop ourselves for the future. The Chazon Shayo ends off that the Shuvah, Hashem, that we're going to come back, the return to Tzion, to Yerushalayim, to Sheyivana Beis HaMikdash. It's going to be Mishpat and Tzedakah. It's the little acts of just Mishpat, just doing what's right. And Tzedakah, the little things, smiling at someone, giving a compliment that you have stored. You think of something nice about someone, tell it to them. A little thing you could do, put a few extra quarters in your pocket to give tzedakah, so you have tzedakah to give, to be a giver. The little things, the mishpat and the tzedakah, those are things that make us return. Tisha B'Av, Ba'aleinu L'Tova, it is a time of hope. It's a time of rebuilding. And when you hit Tisha B'Av, you think we're exactly 2 months from Yom Kippur. Tisha B'Av is the start of Yom Kippur. If a couple is going through tough times, so they go to their marriage counselor, and the first thing, you can ask anyone who went to Alcoholics Anonymous, step one is you have to admit that there's a problem. There are different types of tefillah. There's a tefillah where I can ask for something, and there's a tefillah where I just tell you how I'm feeling. Tisha B'Av is where we just say how we're feeling. There's no goal to Tisha B'Av. It's a day of experiencing. There's very few tefillahs. The kinnis aren't really asking for much. At the end, we finish off with Hashivenu. But it's Shabbos. We sit and we just sit. We say, I wish there was more from our relationship. I feel bad that this is the state of our relationship. I feel bad for all the reasons why we've become so far. And the refiner always quotes this line that if at any point one discovers himself distanced from God, he must ask himself, who moved? We know it's us. And that leads us into the mode of Elul, of actually developing, working, rectifying our relationship with Hashem, redeveloping that love, that closeness, the kirva of the Korbanos. That someone came to the Abdurav and he was telling him about all his tzaras. And Abdurav sat and empathized, as he did, Oyev Yisrael, with everyone. And after he had finished, tzara after tzara, there's a shrekach pile of Yisurim. And Abdurav said, yeah, and on top of that, we didn't even have a carbon atomic today. It's something that slips our mind. It's something that's such a big part of us that we don't even know is missing. That's the worst part. You can't work on a relationship when everything's fine. Everything is not fine. And that's where Tisha B'Av comes in. And it's a beautiful, beautiful moment. Because, when a couple sits down and they say, I want so much more out of this relationship, even if nothing changes, that pain of how we're not satisfied with this. I want more than this. It's an incredibly moving experience. It's a tefillah, and it's the first step of hoping and yearning for something greater for our experience with Hashem. It's like we've been sleeping on the couch. And if you get so comfortable on the couch, as if it's a really cozy couch, and there's so much gashmis that you forget that we got kicked out. That's Tisha B'Av is that one day, at least one day, 9 days, 3 weeks, where we pause and be like, this is not what it's supposed to be. Remember what it was like being at home? I miss home. That would be Zayich, that we should go back home. And we should feel that Kirvas Alekim. We should share in the tzara of Hashem. And be Zayich to the Gula Shlema b'meherav Yameinu. Amen.